And this will build up and all, Rob, because I've got mental health, obviously in the hospital and so forth. I only got to speak to them and say, right, my Instagram's got 4,000 followers. They're all to do with mental health. Say, look, this is all going to start building. This is what I would like to do. See it help.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Voice from the Corner, Mental Health.
Hope you
enjoyed my chat with my first guest, Matty Howard, on his mental health journey. And now, please get your questions and your comments in.
Don't be afraid to ask anything.
Yeah, Matt's going to happily answer any of your questions or comments as they come in.
Yeah, we're going to have to build this. Rob's going to take a while. But these sort of sites, mate, are needed big time because these save lives, mate. Trust me. People have been able to go somewhere and listen to people that have been to that situation. I've been to the depths of hell, you know? And I want to put my experiences out there so everyone don't make the same mistakes as I did. I'm lucky to be here. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm glad that I am here. And so I want to meet you, would I? But if we can get some, we start building and get some people. The younger are starting now. It's more young people than it is older people now that are actually committing self-harming and taking overdoses and so forth. So we need to get the message out there to everybody and be ashamed of who you are.
Yeah, so just to go back to what you were saying earlier, then Matt.
Yeah, go
on. In your personal situation, would you attribute your mental health condition to childhood trauma?
Yeah, 1,000,000%. Because when I have psychotherapy, you talk to them and things come out. Like I trust you. You get to trust these people. And she went, wow, like she said, Matt, she said, you're amazing. I said, she goes, what you been through? And like she's saying, but what you are, she said, you're strong because to get through that, she said, and to where you are now, I said, but you've got to understand, I met a beautiful lady. I was lucky. I met a beautiful, beautiful woman that I married. I said, I blocked it out. She said, yeah, but all you've done is just delayed. And what happens is when you delay it, it becomes worse because that build up of 10 years, 20 years, where it may be, it will come out. It has to come out. If it doesn't come out, you'll do yourself harm because psychologically, it's in the back of your brain. And as growing up, so you're a lot younger than me, but as growing up in the times that I did, parents were brutal anyway. There's been pubs and so forth, but they got away with things disgusting and won't get away with now. You shouldn't have got away with it then. But getting drunk and beating up your son and all the rest of it and what have you, it was allowed for some reason because that's how it was. But in the end, like I said, I left. Where else was there?
First questions in from Feed the Bear for Matty. Were you ever on Deprecate for mood swings? And if you were, what did you think of them?
I've tried everything there is. I'll show you a box out there. I should have brought it out, really. I'll do it in a minute. I've tried every tablet and every pill there is to try. And there's injections. I've had powerful pills. There's so many. They're all different for different people. Your metabolism. I'm on quadripine at the moment, and they seem to work for me. But I'm on 400 millimeters. People take 25 millimeters. I take 400. But what I'm saying to you is I was taking 1,200 because with me, I go very deep, Feed the Bear. What I'm saying, mate, do you suffer with depression, Feed the Bear, yeah?
Yeah, just let us know in the comments, Feed the Bear.
You do, Feed the Bear. What I said is, mate, it's not, I can't answer that question because everything is different for people's different, some tablets work for some people, some don't for others. And, you could have, there's a million tablets you could take, mate. But what they do is they put you on them for 3 months and then you go through, now I'm on my sort of bimenstrual, is it called, whatever they call it. And every 12 months I have to be done again because your system becomes immune to them. So you have to change over. But I was taking sort of 14, 20 tablets a day. Now I'm down to 2. So I've managed to conquer that bit. And I really want to get it to none. The only thing this woman said to me, she said, you'll never get it to none. She said, because what'll happen is you'll get too low. She said, and I said, but I can, she said, no. She said, you have to take the 2. So that's the lowest I can go, apparently, the 2. But see, Tyson Fury, he suffers with the bipolar and depression, but he doesn't take any tablets because Thanks for the sharing your experience, mate.
Mrs. N. So
How you doing, Em?
thanks for sharing your experiences, Matty.
No, mate, not
What
at all. That's what I'm about, mate. You know, like, I don't want to see people get to the position that I did. I had everything and I blew the lot. That wasn't my cause of, trying to commit suicide. My
Just
cause
pause
of
for a
committing
moment.
suicide.
Just pause for a moment, Matt.
Yeah.
Just let me read the question, and then I'll hand. The floor is yours.
Yeah, go on.
What do you find helps when you're feeling low? Do you find it's keeping active, or is there any other everyday therapies or techniques you use?
That's a good question. That's a very good question. Yeah, keeping active, definitely. Also, keeping friends or someone close to you number on the phone. Explain. Look, when you got like with me, my wife knew that I had suffered with depression. So did my kids because I told them. So when I went really down, they'd be there for me. They'd sit in the bed, get in the bed with me, and I'd sleep for a couple of days, whatever. But I'd have them round me. I wouldn't hide it. And what I would do is, uh, when you get sort of depression, you can get out the door. That's not too bad. You can fight that. But when you get to the stage where you have to stay in bed, you can't get out. Just have your loved ones around you. If you haven't got a loved one, then get someone, a friend, anyone that you know that you can ring and they'll answer the phone to. Because not answering the phone, ringing someone and they're not answering the phone. Because listen, because of my condition, I will drive people mad because I'll over talk, and I know that I'll drive people mad. So, but people that love you, you don't drive them mad. You know what I'm saying by that? So the people that you think you're driving mad, mate, slip away from them. You know. But what I'm saying, mate, if you suffer with depression, try and do some exercises and get yourself a routine. And what you do is stick to that. But if you get depressed or anything, mate, there's going to be some numbers up on there, my own number included, and thingy. You please, you contact someone. And talking it, I've had some training for the Samaritans, and so forth. And the reason I had it is because you need to know how to speak to people, and you need it because I've been there. The way I can talk to someone, they will understand me because I've been through that experience, and I can say certain things to deal to N or whatever, and she'll come out of that. Do you see what I mean? Because she knows, well, you've been there because you just said something. You can't sort of say it to everybody. You have to keep certain things that are mental health to us, people that have got mental health, because when you say certain words, listen, did you feel like you was going to jump out of that window and what have you and so forth? And did it feel windy? And I know it sounds crazy, mate, but this is the things you have to do. There's nothing I haven't tried in my mind to end my life. Jumping off buildings, but I'm a coward because I thought, no, I don't want to splatter myself. Getting a gun, and I thought, no, because that'd been, and all these sort of things go through your mind when you're depressed. You can't snap that. That's going to happen. We're not going to kill each other. You're going to feel sometimes in a state where you just don't want to be there. But what they are, they're just thoughts in your head that are running through your head. They will surpass. You have to fight them, mate. You have to really speak to people, have people around you, and you will go. There's nothing can stop you going to that place. No matter what anyone tells you, I know because I've been there many times. And they say to you, yeah, but you've got to go and you've got to man up. You've got to do. Them sort of people don't know about mental health, And depression is a dangerous thing. You need to get medication. You need to seek help and doctors and so forth, and explain that you're suffering, and get the proper help that you need. That as soon as you go to them, they test you on something and they know exactly what's what. They're very good at diagnosing stuff like that. But please have a phone and be round somebody that loves you, mate, because you need to be talking to people. Because that little gap that keeps you there, then you'll get the professional. What happens when you get to a stage where you feel like taking your own life? They would normally section you for your own mental health, yeah, which is quite a good thing. So you've got no choice. But if you're seriously like I was, you go into the bad, what they call the bad one, which is the third floor. And mate, it's a crazy place. Because I'm a big lump, I think they put me there because of the size of me. You know what I'm saying? And I was a bit. No, I don't sort of suffer anyone. So I think if they don't want any problems. Do you know what I'm saying? Which is wrong. But what I'm saying is that they will just they'll monitor you 24/7, basically.
How important is routine and structure?
Unbelievable. That's what changed my life. Routines is what I started to do through psychotherapy, and what I do. But don't overdo anything. If you don't want to do something, don't do it. Don't force yourself. But what I would do, see, like if I want to go to the gym, I couldn't just go to the gym. So what I'd do is I'd break it up. I'd go, right, I'm going to get to this bus stop. That's 1. Now I'm going to get to the fire station. That's 2. By the time I got to the gym, it's 8 steps. And them 8 steps on a bit of paper. And if I'm feeling depressed, I go, right, I'll get to 2, the players, and then whatever, I'll come back. Because in your mind, the 8's too far. It sounds crazy, but it's true. So you get a routine going. You say, right, at 9 o'clock, I'm going to go to number 2. But you'll get to 8 because you got to number 2. You'll get to the gym. Once you get to the gym, then you can come straight back if you want. It doesn't matter. But you've done it. Do you see what I'm saying? And once you get into that routine, before you know it, mate, you just come out and you're walking straight to that gym. You're doing things because it becomes a routine. So if you can get yourself a routine, that's fantastic. Walking's fantastic and all.
Feed the bear. Yes, I've been on different meds on and off for years. Take a small dose of quetiapine.
Yeah, that's what I use. That's the one that works for me.
But the other meds I'm on are for neurological problems, mate.
Yeah, I take some because your brain. You mean? Yeah, I've got stuff for look, my brain goes into overdrive. I've had a brain bleed on the brain. So I do know what you're talking about. Feed the bear. Listen, mate, don't be don't be shy. Don't be think that this is your fault. This isn't your fault. It's an illness. So what I'm saying, be proud of who you are. Be be real, and don't let anyone put you in a place where they think, well, what's wrong with him now? What's he got wrong with him? Because they can't see it.
Mrs. M, thanks a lot for the advice, Matty. This is extremely helpful. Good questions from Rob as well.
Yes, and yourself. And listen, we're going to build this to a proper site. The people need to know they're uneducated about mental health. When I was in prison, I'm proud. I saved a few people's lives, and I was proud of that because they was self-harming because they couldn't deal with the fact they was getting big long sentences. And I sat down and told them the truth. I said, listen, this isn't going to go away. Forget your solicitor. You got to deal with these situations. You got to look in the mirror and say, right, what I'll do is I'll get trained up and I'll get qualifications and I'll deal with it. Do you know what I'm saying? Because in life, you can't hide away from things that you have to deal with. If you're splitting up or you're losing your house or things like that, they're nothing. They're just things that you think are big things. They're nothing. Honestly, I lost everything. I mean, I lost my stall, my house, my cars, my business, and it didn't mean nothing to me because the person I am now, I'm so content with myself because my kids have achieved greatness, and that's what I was put on this planet for. To be true with you, I messed up a fantastic marriage, which I regret. But you can't. I don't regret. When I say regret, it's a big word, and you can't regret because you can't do nothing about it, can you? What I do is I make sure that my life now is the best that it can be. I do the simple things in life please me. I like eating out. I don't cook. Oh, sorry, that's another thing that I happen to do when you got when you get depressed. You put things in the oven, you forget about them, mate. You'll be very careful. I burnt out about 3 ovens. I don't cook no more because your mind, your memory is very, very dodgy, mate. It's I meant to say that. I forgot to say that, Rob. That memory loss is when you're depressed is terrible, mate. Like you make a cup of tea, leave it in the kitchen, forget about it. Short term, it's unbelievable. It's like I run a bath and forget about it and flood the place. I've been in this flat now 3 years. I flooded downstairs about 8 times. I burnt out the fireman about 3 or 4 times. I've learned how to deal with these situations now, though, because I don't use the oven. The washing machine, I put them things in it. You put in the dishwashers, and I come in, it was like snow. So all these little things I never used to do, and irons and things, I put the iron on. You can't do, if you're feeling depressed, don't use an iron, don't cook, don't do anything electrical stuff because you will forget about it. I don't know what it does. I said to him, why does that happen? They said, because your mind's not there. Your mind is somewhere else. I asked the doctor about it and she said, do not do anything physical, drive or anything when you're depressed because you will have a crash. It's as simple as that because your mind's not with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, don't be, it was just me.
One from Cocky. Matty, I see suicide as logical. Your thoughts on this?
Yeah, you do because you're logic. You're quite a altogether person. It's not logic. It's complete opposite of that because you think it's going to solve all your problems. It doesn't. All it does is creates all the things that you've left behind, and it doesn't help you. When I say like suicide, people say it's cowardly. It's not, mate. Suicide is the ultimate. But what I'm saying is, you can start thinking about suicide before you know it. You're into it big style, and I was thinking, how do I do this? Do you know what I'm saying? Try not to think about it. Try and say to yourself, listen, I'm better than this. I'm not going to be weak and let this get to me. I'm going to go and get some help, and that you'll be so surprised that the help that you will get when you declare that you feel you're having suicidal thoughts. Don't be scared to go to be locked up in an outhouse, as they call it. St Bernard's know me, like I've been there 5 or 6 times, because I've had to go there because I said, look, I'm in a bit of a bad way, and they've stayed there a couple of nights. I felt great again, because they get you through a routine. They start asking you questions that they know how to do. They're very highly trained, Certain questions will trigger certain things. So please don't think suicide's logical, because it's not. It's the ultimate thing not to do. People will take their lives because it's too easy to do, in fairness. Do you know what I'm saying? And I mean, I'm a coward because I took tablets. I ain't going to cut myself, not like that. And luckily, I bought them on a black market. But I was actually disappointed when I woke up, Goki. So I know exactly where you're coming from, because you think, you know what? What's the point in being there? There's plenty of point. People will love you, mate. Life is a good thing, mate. It's just not so great always, But you will that will surpass. And think of yourself as someone that's something. Do you know what I mean? Because you are something, mate. You're going to be loved. I love you, mate. And what I'm saying, you're worth having here. You're as good as any person, the next person. We're all good, God's creatures, and you deserve to be here, mate. Look in the mirror and say, you know what? I'm not a bad fella.
Cheers, Feed the bear. Cheers, Matty. I'm not bothered if anybody else says anything about it. I'm just in recovery now and still struggle with anger issues and in physical pain that drives me insane.
Yes, so right.
I just take it day by day. Day by day.
Feed the bear, mate. Listen, mate, you can talk to me anytime. I'll give you my private number, mate. I respect you just coming on and saying that, mate. I felt very angry. When I split my miss, I blamed everyone but myself. And angry was when I said I was going to do stupid things to other people, then commit things to myself. And it got to a stage where I was frightening myself, because I was thinking, you know what, dirty, no good, blah, blah, blah. It's nothing to do with them. It's you. You've got to take responsibility for the things that have happened in your life, even though it's not your fault. You what I'm saying to you is, Feed the bear, I don't give a shit what anyone says about me, mate, to be truthful with you, mate. I do it now and again, have a little flip here and there, but I wouldn't physically hurt someone that didn't need to be hurt. Do you know what I'm saying by that? And I try not to be, I'm fighting, I'm a boxer, but what I'm saying is, life is a lot better than you think it is. Anger is just something that you're going to get. That happens. You won't be able to stop that. Well, what you got to do is deal with it. Because I was very, very angry for about 2 or 3 years. I fell out with some good mates of mine, and I was angry with them for about 5 years. If I'd have met any of them, I would have physically assaulted them. Do you know what I'm saying? And I started in my head, what's he say that for? What's he done this for? What I'd done is I completely moved away from everybody, switched all the phones off. I left my family for 1 year. I'd done it on my own. I rebooted this word, and it was hard. But I had to do that to start my life again. Do you know what I mean? I left all the stuff behind. I left my mates. And your real good friends will come and find you anyway. Where I am now, I've been here 3 years, and I was here for a year without talking to anybody. Now that was hard, but I had to do it. You know, that's my way of dealing with it. And it's like first said, the only way you're going to deal with this is to get away from it, because you're going to end up in prison, or you're going to end up, doing something really stupid. So I thought, you know what, she's right. Let's just make a new start myself. My kids come around and see me now, my mates, and it's great, I see the old bird now and again, go have a nice meals. So the anger, you're going to have Feed the bear, mate. It's not your fault, so stop blaming yourself, but also let go of that anger, mate, because what'll happen is it'll build up, and you get yourself in trouble, mate.
On to Cocky. Wouldn't we all like to be in control of our own passings?
Yeah, and listen, there's nothing wrong with that. But what I'm saying to you is, why would you want to go early in life? I mean, I've been on death's door. I mean, I touched the 30 gates 7 times. I shouldn't come back. I mean, I've had doctors sticking things in me. I've had, I was in car crashes. I've been stabbed, and I had a bleed on the brain. So I thought, well, hold on a minute, I'm not supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be here, mate, because if I wasn't, I wouldn't, I'd have been dead, wouldn't I? And then I started to think, well, hold up a minute. Why should I go early? For what reason should I go early? Why should I enjoy what I've got here? It might be shitty at one particular time in your life, but it always no matter how bad you feel, things will always get better. Things will always change. It might take time. It took me 3 years to even get, to the state I'm at now. And then 2 years before that, I've been in hostels. I've been in, I've been locked up in mental health. And then I came from that to a hostel, which you watch 24/7. Then I had to go back into the St Bernard's and on day release, and I go and sign on, and I do all these things because they didn't trust me that I wouldn't harm myself. But because they knew about me, I started to realise that's there for me. That's always going to be there for me. So I used that to my advantage. Where you, Cokie, probably haven't had that situation yet. But when you do, mate, when you're like you do now, if you do feel low, mate, I'm going to give you some numbers. You please, you've got no one to ring. You ring me, mate, because your life is worth having. Your life is worth something, mate. Do you know what I'm saying? Don't matter what people tell you. You know, you're God's creatures, mate, and we all love you. You know what I'm saying? So don't think that no one loves you. I love you, mate. And if you want someone to talk to, mate, 24/7, I will answer the phone to you, and that's a promise. So get out of that one, mate.
Pat, what role does spirituality play in mental health? Realizing that I can have a relationship with whatever the higher power that runs the universe is by far the most comforting thought I've ever had.
Well, if that makes you feel comfortable, when that makes you feel good, you stay with that, mate. I'm quite into, God now. I've not become religious. I read the Bible, and the reason I read the Bible is because I was in here, and I thought I'm not going out. I stopped drinking, smoking, and all these things. I started to read the Bible, and I actually found comfort in it. Then I started talking to the good man above, and all of a sudden I'm into him. I'm thinking, this is not all. Like coming from where I've come from. Like sort of criminal, whatever. And then sitting here reading the Bible and enjoying it, it's a crazy thing to think. But yeah, I find comfort in it. I sit here sometimes and I read and I talk to him, and maybe it's me being mad, but it makes me feel good. Do you know what I mean? So whatever makes you feel good spiritually, I'm quite spiritualist myself, calm and so forth. But nothing is ever as bad as you think. And also, if something makes you feel good, stay with that always. And what I found, I have to put a picture of my kids in my pocket. Whenever I felt bad, I look at them, start crying, and that pulled me out of a lot of things, And my kids are adorable. Postman Pat. Sorry. That helps you, Postman Pat.
For you, Matty, how vital is the spiritual component, your faith, in terms of your recovery?
I believe it's keeping me where I am today, because I found myself thinking, you know what, all this plastic bullshit gangstery hard man, crap. I don't ever bully or, I used to get involved in fights for other people because they get drunk and they can't conduct themselves in a good manner. And I look back in my life now and I think all these things I've ever done, I tried to get people to befriend me because I wasn't loved. So I wanted to be loved, yeah? And what I would do by looking up and being able to look after myself properly, I'm not getting big, but it's not nothing to be bragging about. I can properly have a fight because I've been beat up as a kid so many times that you learn to take pain and you learn how to hit. And I can hit hard, I couldn't be in Peter's league as in a boxer. He'd smash me all around the ring. But as a normal fighter, so I've used violence all my life to befriend people. Do you know what I'm saying? Which is not right and it's disgusting, but that is how my life has been, and that's how it's panned out. But because I'm looking for something that's not there. Then, like I said, I got married and met a beautiful lady, so on and so forth, 2 beautiful kids, but still wasn't enough because then people start talking about it, saying things, because jealousy and so forth. So you've got to rise above all these people. You mustn't let people that talk about you, haters and so forth, they're not jealous of you, mate. They're jealous of themselves because they've got sad lives. Do you know what I'm saying? So whatever makes you feel good, that's it.
Feed the bear. Pat, my faith is really important, mate, and health.
Yeah, so is mine. I talk to the good man above and I say, look, should I be doing this? And I think if he sort of guides me. Do you know what I'm saying? And I believe there's more to when we are, going to meet the maker. Naturally, there's something else. We're going to move on to another place. And I'm a great believer in that. And it keeps me in a good place. Like, see, with me, death doesn't frighten me. It doesn't scare me. It doesn't. I want to be here for as long as I can. But if I was to go tomorrow, I wouldn't feel upset. Do you know what I'm saying by that? Because there is something else and I was meant to go. And that's my faith. That's my, the good man above has taught me that, you got to cleanse yourself. You can't kid people. You can't be going doing things you shouldn't be doing and then judge people. If you're going to judge people, you got to cleanse yourself, which was the hardest thing for me. You know what I mean?
Just to go back to your father then, Matty.
Yeah, go on, mate.
He was an alcoholic, is that correct?
Yes, mate. He was an alcoholic. He was brutal. I'm not ashamed to say, but he was no good, mate. He was you know, he's dead. I suppose it's hard, you know, I've forgiven him because of my faith, but I can't love him. You know, I can't pretend I can. And he died when I was 18. What happened was he used to beat my mum, and brutal, mate. You know, you see things. My brother would come, my sister would be crying, and he'd hit his sister. And I go, what? So I would defend my mum. So I'd be 11 years old. My dad would beat me up like a man. Do you know what I'm saying? Because he had drinking and all that. But I got to a stage where I was sort of 13, and I had so many beatings. I was in the hospital, I don't know how many times, you know, whatever. But I wasn't scared of him. So I say, you drunk and blah, blah, blah. And I used to hit him over there with a pan or something, and he'd kill me, absolutely batter me. But I thought, I can't live like this, you know. But if I left, my mum's going to get hurt. So it's very hard for me, but I had to do it. I had to make the decision to, like, just go. I lived next door with a guy called George. He was a 6'8" gentleman from West Indies. And sadly, he died after about 6 weeks of me moving in with him. So I ended up on the street. So I ended up like just sort of drifting around, staying in. When you're on the streets, you meet people. And back then, sexual things was quite common for kids on the streets, you know. And then at the time, people tried to, because I wasn't massive and I was only 13 and that, you're lying down, someone's trying to, you know, mess with you. So I learned to fight again, you know. So it became a sort of street, I don't know what the word is. I became very violent at a young age because of things that I was going through. And then at the age of 13, I just sort of said, you know what, I'm going to make something in my life. I started stealing cars, not proud of it, but 14, I started doing things, and I became quite successful. What I'd done, I've got a nice house, holidays, cars, and everything else, beautiful kids and what have you. And I messed it all up, sadly. But where I come from, I think is the cause of my problems.
Pat, there's moments in life when we have little glimpses of something beyond for sure. The only explanation I find for so many things is God.
Yeah, me too.
Different countries call it different things.
It's the same thing. Yeah, look. There's my Bible. See it? So can I get it? I sleep with that. I comfort that, and every night I say what I need to say. My mum's, you know, she's going to be leaving this soon. She's 92 and she's not so good. And every night I pray for her and ask to God for forgiveness. And because my mum it's not my mum's fault. She rejected me because my dad said that I wasn't his, and it caused, you know what I'm saying. So me and my mum in the last 5 years we got at peace with each other. I said, Mum, I don't hate you, darling. You know, it's not your fault. You know, he was, you know, and so my mum got upset. And we got very close in the last 5 years, me and my mum, because of being rejected as a kid. Very hard not to be loved, isn't it? But it wasn't my mum's fault. It was my dad's fault because he said that I weren't, like you're saying, you old slag, it's not that ain't my baby. So my mum sort of couldn't love me because of that. Do you know what I'm saying? And we became so close in the last 5 years. It's unbelievable. But I'll go up and see her, like, which is, and I'll read her from the Bible, and she goes, Matty's coming, leave me alone, and all that. It's lovely, you know. So we're at peace with each other, and it's nice. And the Bible, she loves. She's Catholic, so I read her from the Bible, and she sits there and she goes, "Oh, you're such a great man, Matty. You're such a great man." But it's nice, you know. I find things now in my life, the little simple things are the best things. Do you know what I mean? I used to race cars and nice cars and holidays in St. Lucia, Barbados, all this crap. It's all fake, mate, to be honest with you. It's a beach with a sand, you know, with whatever. I still like marlin fishing, but you can go to Spain, you can go to England. It's not about what you got or how big your car is or your house is. It's about how you feel inside. It's about how how your kids and your wife and whoever you're with, how you love each other. That's all that counts, mate. Nothing else.
Cocky, why is it that we rejoice at a birth and grieve at a funeral? It is because we are not the person involved.
I don't grieve at funerals. Sorry to mess it up, Cody. I celebrate people's death. I don't. If I've got a different way of outlook of looking on things. With me, I don't like to go to funerals, to be honest with you. But if I do go to a funeral, I don't grieve. I rejoice. I rejoice their life, and they're going to somewhere else. That's my belief. You know, the good man above, you know, the pearly gates and all the rest of it. If you're good, you're going to heaven. If you're if you're not so good, you go to hell. I think I'll be going to hell at the minute, but I'm getting there. But yeah, it's what you believe in, and you don't do things because you feel that's how it should be done, like the sheep. I'm completely opposite of that. Do what you feel is right for you. Don't feel odd because you know that you're not going to Tesco's or you're not, you know, you're getting. Do what you feel is right for you, mate. Don't ever feel that you have to follow the sheep or you have to be like Mrs. Jones, because that's just a pathetic plastic way of living your life. I see my mates now, like I used to know very well. Their boys are taking drugs and they're nicking it. And I think, mate, you know, you done that. Why is your boys doing that? You can't. There's no excuse. You can't make. I can make an excuse for me because I'm educated. It doesn't make it right. But what I'm saying, I've done it for the right reasons to get my kids to a position where they are now, and they are so well educated. I'm so proud. It's unbelievable. Yeah, it's all in the mind. You're right. Yeah, you can control
LSC,
your
it's
mind.
all in the mind. It's all in the mind. Control your mind. Don't let your mind control you.
Yes, good, fantastic question. But you can't see the mind. It's a complex thing. When you're suffering, the mind it has a mind of its own. And when I say it, when you're in control, like Rob is now in front of me, Rob can say, "Right, I'll do this," and I subconsciously I'll count to 10 or I'll do this. When you're gone, when you have a breakdown, which I had, nervous breakdown, mental breakdown, my mind was just going. Psh, psh. I was there, but I wasn't there. So if I hadn't got help, I wouldn't be here today because I couldn't control my mind, and it's a crazy, horrible thing. And I was like, what's happening? People were saying to me, I was giving them money, like £1,000, or giving them stuff like I might give them a cushion or something because my mind was gone. I didn't know what I was doing. And everyone that supposedly close to me robbed me, you know, because I was gone in the head. And it was a harrowing experience, but I couldn't control my mind. So yeah, if you can control your mind, of course it is. But that's only if your mind is in a good place and you're in a nice. You're not in a dark place. Is it Steph? CF? Yes, Steph. So lovely thing. You're right. But people think, oh, you know, grow some balls and, you know what I mean, man up and all this. Mate, you ain't going to meet no more manly than me, I promise you, mate. I'd die for my kids, and I do. If I feel that someone's going to take a liberty with me or wrong me, I don't care who you are, mate. I'll have a fight with you. And win, lose or draw, that's how I am. Not that it's good to do that, but what I'm saying to you is don't let anyone tell you what you should do or you shouldn't do. You do what you want to do.
Feed the
Yeah,
bear.
faith,
Good
brilliant.
man.
Feed
Good
the
man, Matty.
Sorry?
Faith helps. Faith helps.
Faith is fantastic.
Just hold on one moment, Matt. So
Yep.
I'm going to read out the questions and then
You go on.
the floor is yours. Faith helps. Put it in the big man's hands and there's
Yes.
nothing to fear.
But feed the bear. What I'm saying to you, you can't ask the big man above to help for help. You're doing things you shouldn't be doing, and you're being a hypocrite like I was. You know what I'm saying? Like, like I.e., say from say, what could I say? Say, counterfeiting money for argument's sake. Then I'm asking the good Lord, can you do this for me? Can you do that? You have to cleanse yourself completely. You have to be truthful and your whole, you know, you have to forgive everybody that's sinned against you. You have to be real and honest, because if you're not, the good man above, he ain't going to have you, mate. He will be there by your side forever if you're true to him. But you have to be true to yourself as well. And that's, you know, what goes around comes around, mate.
SK, good evening. In the 80s, I came out of the Nick and I was at a party. All of a sudden, I needed to get out. I couldn't handle being around anyone. It went on for weeks. Couldn't go out for weeks. I felt so uncomfortable.
That's anxiety. What that is you're in somewhere and you feel uncomfortable. You feel that everyone's looking at you and you don't feel comfortable. You want to get out of there because you've had an anxiety attack. All that is, everything's rushing in your body, and it's like a computer going into overdrive, and it needs to kick off. It needs to, you know, reboot. That's exactly the same as what you had there. Anxiety. I've had them like on buses. They're horrible things. You're sweating. You start getting away from people. I walked once from here to I think it was 42 miles. I ended up in Oxford or something. I can't remember where it was. I couldn't stop walking. I just like with an anxiety attack. And I had to ring. I said, "What is happening?" And they said, "What you've done, you've had a really bad anxiety attack, whereas you just overloaded everything, and bang, like what you just had there, SD." But they're not the things that could damage you. With all due respect, they're just things that will affect you. I getting on buses, going to places. But what you got to do, mate, is seek some help for that. And there's the medication they will give you for that. Zyziban, I think it's called. Very good, mate, and it nips it straight in the bud. It calms you down. You're overthinking certain things, and it's bottling out, and then boom, it's coming out. You know. But there is medication for that, mate. Anxiety is not the thing that can put you in a bad place. Can kill you. Do you know what I'm saying? Like depression can. Hope that helps, SD. It's
Yeah,
Katie, sorry.
Matt, just from me,
Yeah,
did you ever follow in your dad's footsteps in terms of alcohol abuse?
never, no.
Was there ever any self-medicating going on?
Yeah, no, I tell you what I've done. Look, I grew up in a society. I was quite successful. I was young. I was thieving. Don't get me. I was doing things and what have you. And I had a stall, and I just put it in my head that I was never going to be like my dad. My kids, I've never laid a finger on them or my wife ever. I've never asked anyone for anything. I do it myself, and I brought my kids up. My wife stayed at home. I got her a house, a car, and the kids. We used to do a month in Florida every year. We used to do, and they had a fantastic life. Yeah, I messed up, not no one else, right? The reason I've done that is because although I counterfeit films and DVDs and so on and so forth, but I made sure my kids would never ever see violence in their life because I see so much of it. But I became a violent person myself in a way that I'd help my mates that was in trouble. My mates would ring me and they'd say, "Man, I'm in trouble," and I'd go and help them, so on and so forth. And I used to hang around with lumps, and I was a bouncer on the door, and I became really handy with my fists, and I knew how to use them. And you can't. I've got big chunky legs. You can't really hurt me because I've been hurt so many times. I've been hit. I mean, you had to look at my eyes; they're all busted up, my teeth, and all the rest of it. But when you're young and you get beat up and you have to go around a pub with your dad and there's Northerners then, and you know they're going to give you an hiding, or you go home and he gives you an hiding, which one do you have? I thought, you know what? I'll learn to fight and I'll go and meet with my dad and meet these Northerners and have a tear up. And the guy I met this guy years ago, he said, "I remember you." He said, "You used to come in the pub with your dad." He said, "And all of a sudden you started to win." And I said, "That's, I'm proud, but I'm just saying how my life was evolved." And in the end, I thought, I don't want this violence. I don't want to be around it. And I've never showed my kids violence ever, or my wife. But I can be a violent person for the right reasons. If someone's threatening my family, or if you rang me, Rob, and said, "Look, I've got trouble," I'll be there for you. Do you know what I'm saying, mate? And it's the way I am. It's stupid, I know, because you've got to deal with your own situations, isn't it now?
My sniper, I've been self-medicating with alcohol for about a year due to my
Mm-hmm.
old man passing away.
That's sad. I'm sorry to hear that.
But I feel like I've turned a corner, and doing this diet and getting healthy again has helped me massively.
Well done, Pimp Snipe, mate. That's me too, mate. It's the alcohol with me. I was never really sort of people say, "Oh, he's always in a pub." I wasn't really a big drinker. You very, very rarely see me drunk. The reason I wouldn't get drunk is because I was always watching things that was going on. I was always eager. I was always thinking something's going to happen because of the environment I was brought up in. But alcohol, I did turn to, and I turned to cocaine in a casual way to try and think. It never ever helped anything, mate. All it does, it just. And then all of a sudden, people are saying cocaine. I thought, you know what, this is pathetic. What you got to do is not follow anyone. You got to be yourself. The alcohol, your dad, you've lost your dad. That's allowed, mate. But what you got to be careful of is when you become an alcoholic, is when you start hiding that you're drinking, and you're drinking first thing in the morning and you're denying it. When you're in denial of something, you got a problem with it. When you can admit you're doing something, you haven't got a problem with it. If I say to you, "Look, I'm smoking. I'm smoking one fag a day," but I'm telling you, or I'm taking a bottle of wine a week or whatever. I'm admitting I'm doing something. I'm not hiding it, so I ain't got a problem, have I? When you say to someone, "I'm not drinking," and you're drinking a bottle of vodka a day, then you've got a problem, I'm afraid. And when I went to seek help and so forth, they said, "Well, you drink a lot." I said, "No, I don't really do." And then I thought, you know what? And they said, "Look, there's no point lying to us." So I told them exactly. And they went, "No, you're drinking too much, but you're not on this thing." And I said, "Yeah, I take how much cocaine?" I said, "Well, I don't know. It's like I'll be out one night and have whatever." And they said, "Yeah, what?" And they just asked me these questions. And when they started to break it all down, the alcohol weren't helping me, because what it would do the next day, you'll feel 10 times worse. The drugs won't, make, because where there's a high, there's a low. But I don't blame you for using the alcohol there, pimp stuff, pimp most number, to a degree for your loved ones. But get yourself fit. I'm on a diet myself. I'm just trying to get. You will come off. I'll go on a diet and I blow out, and then I do this and I do that. What I'm saying to you is that you will have times where you can't do it, and you feel a bit thing. But if you keep at it, believe it or not, I don't look so great, but body wise, I'm quite well. My heart's good, my lungs are good. I've had my full checkup and so forth, and I can run, I can fight. I'm not as lazy, unfit as I look. Is that a word I'm trying to use? Just a bit heavy because I eat takeaways and I love chicken.
Feed the bear. Matty, I've changed my life and no regrets. Was never into anything, just wild on the drink. but I've always
Hmm.
had my faith from when I was young. It's just my physical pain now that sends me angry and anxious.
Yeah, that, think, Ben, mate, I respect you there for that. Your faith, fantastic. Faith's been brilliant for me. Like I said, that's every day. That don't come out my hand on there, and I find peace in it. But everyone to their own. But see, the alcohol and the anger, what that is, something's triggered that. You know, you fell out with someone, or someone you loved just rejected you, or something there, and it's affecting you because you feel that it shouldn't have happened to you. But what you got to do, and this has been brutal, but being honest, you got to look in the mirror and say, do you know what? Fuck that, mate. Let go of that. And it's hard. Me letting go of my wife, who I was madly in love with, who I adored. She was an angel, beautiful, right? I messed it up. Took me 3 years, but in the end, I looked at me and I said, "Fuck's sake, let go, man. Because if you don't let go of her and move on, I'm never going to have a life, am I?" Do you see what I'm saying? So I let go. The anger went, and we're good friends now. Crazily enough, and yet I've got nothing. I've got a flat. I had a big house. I had everything. You know, the big stall. I had money. But my faith is having the kids come round to me and ring me up every other day and tell me they love me and so on and so forth. And that's all I need in my life. And this big bad boy here, that I'm so content in my life. It's unbelievable.
Feed the bear. I also struggle with anxiety and depression.
Yeah, but you're
I'm
not helping
going,
yourself with your drinking, are you?
well, I'm going for alternative medicine now. The other
Hmm.
stuff sends me nuts.
Yeah, see, I've got to be truthful. I'm not going to tell lies. You know, the people that tell lies, don't me, I'm not 16, 17. I say, yeah, I see that bird. You didn't. But I've never been the person to tell a lie. I tell you how it is. I tell you straight up. In my life, if I don't like it, I tell you. If someone was to call me something, I confront it. But to lie, my nan taught me this. If you lie, well, what'll happen? You have to have a good memory. You have to tell a lie and then tell another lie. Before you know it, you're so mixed up. You're going to make yourself look such a fool. So I don't lie about anything. My kid said, "Dad, you know what? Your honesty about how you are has made us the way we are now." And I was crying. I felt so good about it. And what I'm saying to you, Feed the Bear, is that don't kid yourself that you're not drinking too much and don't feel bad and your anxiety. If you are, mate, don't try and be brave and be like, "Oh yeah, I'm all right." Because it's not about being brave, mate. It's about your well-being. It's about you. This isn't about anyone else. It's about you, mate. How you feel, the struggles and anxiety. Anxiety is not the end of the world. Anxiety is the sort of thing that you're getting sort of things that you shouldn't be happening, and you will get through that, mate, from the heart.
Johnny Berber, Matty, from the heart, my friend, I appreciate the help and the brilliant knowledge. Your honesty is second to none. God bless.
Johnny Butler, thank you so much, mate. But listen, my honesty is because I've had a charmed life, if you want to be truthful with me, mate. I'm 57, and there's not really a lot in my life I could do to better what I've had. You know, I fished with George Bush Senior in the Keys, like for marlin. Come on, man. I mean, I wore that one out. Don't get me wrong, but I've tasted the greats in life, and I've been there. I've been to to heaven, if the word is right, to paradise, and I've also been to hell. But what I'm saying to you, between the two of them, materialistic things and holidays are nothing. Having my kids love me the way they do and the things they say to me, and they're educated, they've got diplomas. My daughter, when she passed her degrees and she's got a master's and the honours and blah blah blah, her marks were the best for 26 years in Nottingham, and she's now in business. She's going, I think she's on about £100,000 a year now. She's only 27. My son's in the film games, an artist. His brain's unbelievable because I left my wife. I was being most chauvinist. My wife's going, at home. You stay at home. We're going to do it this way, and we both agreed upon it. So what I'm saying to you is, Johnny, mate, I'm true to myself. I don't worry about other people's kids. To let them worry about it. I worry about my kids. Do you know what I mean? And don't worry about someone's got a Rolls Royce. So what? They got a little dick. Don't worry about that.
Mrs. N at my sniper. Really sorry to hear that. I lost my dad in my teens and I still deal with it. Glad you feel you've turned another corner and the diet's helping. One day at a time.
Nice saying then. See what you just said there. No, grief about things. I lost my sister. She was burnt, but she's my inspiration. I found that hard to deal with because she was like my mum, and took me a long time to get over it. But what I done in the end, I have pictures of her everywhere, and obviously I speak to her, and I just look at her and I remember the good times. I remember she was like a magpie. She was like she'd feed saying she was burnt so badly she shouldn't have lived really, but she had that face and she could work me, and I get the blame. I didn't touch nothing, but she was an inspirational person to be around because she was, so I'll show you a picture someday. She's very badly, you know, if you look, you think, oh my God. But I did look at her, I looked at it because I loved it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you will, grief will surpass. But Pim must much into his faith, so his faith will get him through that. Faith's a great thing, but not for everyone. But it is a great thing, mate. If you can find faith, like I have found it at an old age in my life. I've always been a Catholic. My kids went, to Catholic schools and church and all that. But it's funny how I found it when I was on my own, isn't it? Weird.
Feed the bear. Drink and drugs are a curse. My old granny said there's a devil in every bottle. She was right.
They are, mate. There's me to you. I don't actually. You know what it is? I'm going to have a drink one of these days because I need to have a blowout sometime. But they don't actually do anything for anyone. But anything in moderation is good. But I can now do that. I can go and have a drink and not worry about sitting in drinking a bottle of vodka, which I've never sort of done it. But anything you do in excess, I've got, I do everything full on. So drinking me is not going to suit me. But going out and having a little giggle won't hurt. Do you know what I'm saying? If once you're in control of your mind and once you're in a good place, then I'll recommend it. Exercise, fantastic.
Paul Johnson, exercise, daily training, structure all helps.
Best
Alcohol can get the grip of anyone. If you fall off, then you've just got to be honest, pull it behind you and move forward. It's all self-concept.
Paul Johnson, that's fantastic, mate. You bang on. I will answer that question properly, though. Yes, I'm looking forward now to going to the boxing club tomorrow. I have to push myself, so I ain't done it for a few days. But once I'm there, I love it. But I will get myself every now and again to a place where I can't go to the gym because I just can't go out of this room. I can't get out of that bed because I'm in a place where it's not nice. The depression's come on me big style, and my medication now needs changing. I'm getting too used to the medication that I've got, and it's not working. Something's happened. My mum maybe passed, or something's gone on, and it's triggered me into a downward spiral. But when I get to that stage, what I would do is my kids will come round to me and they sleep with me and they stay with me. Or I'll go if there's no one I can go to, then I'll go to the St Bernard's, which is just up the road, or Ealing Hospital, and you go and you tell them what's happening, and they put you into a place. That is the most important thing in life because that saves your life. So yeah, Paul, I'm with you what you said there, mate. It's not always as easy as that.
Feed the bear. Matty, I've been sober for 2.5 years.
Well done, mate. Good on you. I've been sober 7 years. I've been drugged. I say 7 years. I think I had a bottle once, but it's not. It's Sorry, go on.
Regarding drugs, happiness lies neither in vice nor virtue, but in the manner we appreciate the one and the other, and the choice we make pursuant to our individual organisation.
The choices you make in life, obviously, but you make them choices. What I've always been a person that takes responsibility for my actions, and I have messed up. Let's not kid myself, yeah. But if you deny it and you blame everyone, like I said, think, oh, why not my fault, what's she want? And her mother-in-law used to have a go at me as well. I said, well, look, I bought you this, I bought you that. It doesn't matter what you brought her in the kitchen, what you fridge or whatever. You're in the wrong, mate. And you look in the mirror and you admit you're in the wrong, then you can start living life. Because if you're in denial of anything, you're not true to yourself. You must always be truthful to yourself. When people go to me, oh yeah, he said this, I said, look, mate, if you don't wish to believe me, fuck off. See you later. I don't have them people around me. I don't suffer fools. I don't need to impress anybody. My impression is them two kids that I've got that love me, and they ring me. My boy's 21. He rings me and he goes, "I love you, Dad." I'll get ears in about my neck. I'll start getting up. I think that's all I need. Does that twice a week, mate. That's made me. So, and I used to have Range Rovers, and I used to have nice houses, and all these flash things and Rolex watches and blah, blah, blah. None of it means nothing to me, but my kids do. But my kids are all I ever wanted in my life because of the way I was. I just wanted my kids to have things I never had. And they certainly did, trust me. My daughter's fantastic. She's black belt in judo. She's got degrees and diplomas and so forth. And she's stunning, absolutely stunning. I wish she gets her looks from.
Pat, at my sniper, my dad killed himself when I was 17. Those first couple of years were mad. It's something that will be with you forever. But your relationship with the experience will progress. with time.
I'm so sorry to hear that, Postman Pat, mate. What was it Pete? Which one? Which one's lost it? Postman Pat or Pim's the sniper?
Pat.
Pat, I do apologize, mate.
Yeah.
My thoughts are with you, mate. That is something to deal with. My mum's on her last stage of life now. She's 92. She's not going to be with us much longer, sadly. But she's got dementia. She's now in a sort of phase where she knows we're going to lose her soon enough. I'm dealing with it now, but it's going to hurt because I've become so close in the last 5 years. But grief is a thing that I don't grieve. I celebrate. My mum, when she goes, I'm going to celebrate. She's going to another place. She's been here for 90 odd years. And she's had she's achieved in life by having all these kids and getting to a nice house. I mean, everything in my mum's house. I've got her curtains, carpets. There's nothing I won't buy for my mum. And I feel proud about that. Do you know what I mean? I've got sisters that are multimillionaires, but they don't go around and see my mum. So there's good things in life. The money's not one of them, but you will find comfort in the end. I mean, and the grief is something that everyone has to deal with at a certain stage in life. But don't look at it as grief. Look at it as your dad wasn't meant to be here because of the way that things were, but he's gone to a better place, and you'll meet him one day.
Feed the bear. Drink's a no-no for me now. If I had to take another drink, only two places I'm going: the jail or the graveyard. Drink doesn't agree with me.
Feed the bear, but it's not the drink, mate. I don't mean to be rude to you, mate. Please don't think I am. I'm just being honest with you. You've got some anger management there. What's happened to you? Something's happened to you, because that's how I went. Something's happened to you and you're feeling very grieved about it, i.e. someone's let you down badly. I don't know if it's girls, I don't know if it's business, I don't know what it is. And you're not dealing with it, mate. What you're doing, you're building an anger up inside yourself, saying, well, if I drink, I'll go to jail. It's not the drink going to send you to jail. It's what's inside you that you're not letting out. You're not talking about something. Maybe it's private. You don't want to talk about it. But you're going to have to do it at some stage, Feed the Bear, because speaking to you, mate, with all due respect, please don't think I'm trying to tell you what you got to do with your life. But we'll have a chat on my phone. Rob will get your number. You need to speak to someone about this, because you've got something inside you that's making you very angry, and it could be very dangerous, Feed the Bear, because what will happen, mate, at one stage, you will snap, you'll do something you will regret for the rest of your life. But the anger is going to build up, mate, that you could do that. I hope to God it doesn't happen. But if you talk about it and get rid of it, listen, even that person's wronged you badly, mate, what you got to do is walk away from it, read the Bible, go to church, do something, and look for some faith and say, look, you know what? Let's forgive them. You have to forgive those that trespass against you, because if you don't, you can't, cleanse yourself, can you? Try and let go of that anger, mate, because that anger will get you in trouble. Sorry.
Mrs. N at Postman Pat, that's awful. Really sorry to hear that. I was 17 too when my dad died. Agree with what you said.
It's very sad. So I'm sorry to hear that. And see these people coming in now. See these, then you're lost in 17. Now, see the stage you're in your life now. This is what happened to me. You now have to, you have to accept the fact that when you were 17, your dad took his life. He took his life for the reasons that you'll never understand. And you'll think, why? But don't get that in your head and start blaming yourself or blaming the fact that why does my dad do this? It's not you. It's not for you to do that. Your dad loved you. Don't worry about that, man. You love your dad. But he had his ways and issues, and he obviously couldn't deal with them. And back then, a few years ago, it's a little bit different what it is now. But don't hide it, please. And thank you for coming on admitting, because you might have built a thing up inside you, like what I did with my sister. 5 years, I didn't grieve. All of a sudden, I burst out crying and cried for a week. You know what I'm saying? And I came to terms with it. It took me 5 years, and now I just look and I say, "You're right, Joe. I'll be able to see you soon." You know what I mean? It's keeping pearly gates open for me. So deal with it, please, darling. Don't hide it.
My sniper at Postman Pat, that's a tough age to lose someone. Sorry, mate. And yes, definitely. Thank you.
That is. I do apologise. That's terrible. My eldest sister was 13, died of cancer when I was 5. My sister got burnt, very badly, and I was rejected. I was thinking, what sort of life am I going to have? And what my nan used to look after me, and then my nan sadly passed. Everyone that ever sort of looked after me or loved me died. I was thinking, am I a buck here or what? So you will go through stages in life where it doesn't, things don't go the way they should do. What you got to do, how I done it in my head, I thought, I'm never going to ever go through that again. My kids will never go through. I don't care if I've got to rob the Bank of England. I'll do it. And I did. I done what I had to do, and had a beautiful life. I messed it up. I had to go, to do things in certain whatever. But my kids, they talk polite. You wouldn't think that's my kids, mate. What? And I'm very proud of that. Do you know what I'm saying? Because whatever you do in your life, do it for the right reasons.
Feed the bear. I'm going through therapy, Matty.
What's your therapy, mate?
Just started this year, mate.
Therapy as in what? Psychotherapy, psychiatrist, what I'm saying to you is that's great. You obviously you're doing something about it, and it's fantastic, Feed the Bear, mate. I'm glad to hear that. Because you do need some therapy, mate, with all due respect, because there's something there that's not coming out. And I think that you feel wronged by it or you feel ashamed of it, one or the other. Don't. It's not nothing ever to be ashamed of, mate. Because someone tried to sexually assault me, it's not my fault, is it? Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not ashamed of it. I talk to kids that, and I found it hard at first, but I thought, listen, you're 57, mate. You go in balls and you help these kids out. Do you know what I'm saying? I got upset at first, but now I can deal with it because I've sat there and thought, no, mate, don't you be weak here. This girl needs you. And I get them texting me and emailing me and so forth. I'm going to get them onto here and all, Rob, if you don't mind. But they say, Matt, thank you so much. And like, if there was an uncle or something, I say, right, what are you going to do now? You're going to get on that phone, you're going to ring the police while I'm there now, and you get this done. And they do. Like in America, I'm ringing 911. I said, you do it right now while I'm here with you now, darling. The police turn up, and it all comes out. Do you know what I'm saying? And I ain't a grasp, but what I'm saying to you, that girl's been molested. And then they come on a couple of months later and they say, yeah, he's been took away, and the mum's now trying to deal with the situation. They've admitted the same was going on, And the girl says, look, I'm getting through, and it's a relief for them, Hard though, don't get me wrong. So Feed the Bear, mate. Don't ever feel that you can't talk about anything to me, mate, because there's nothing I couldn't talk to you about, and that's the truth, mate.
Before we go to our final question, so if anybody does want to get in touch with Matt for any help, advice, please contact Matt on the email at the bottom of the screen, voicefromthecorner@gmail.com. We'll forward every email straight on to Matt.
Yeah, and also what I do, not tonight, but we put some numbers up on here. Numbers that people are going to need for anxiety, numbers that people are going to need for depression, and all these numbers are there's sort of low, firm, right up to suicidal. I've got every number for anything you'd ever need to do with mental health, and all it is, these things that I've collected, they all will help you one way or another. You need to ring these numbers when you get to a stage in your life where you can't help yourself. These are numbers you ring. And please, please, please trust me on this one. You need to ring these, because what happens, it then becomes a problem here is a problem shared, isn't it? Do you know what I'm saying? So you're getting help for something you need help for. Don't ever be ashamed to say you've got mental health issues, because it's an illness. It's just invisible. It's gas. It's a poisonous gas. People that just say, look, what's that wrong with me, whatever, they're just ignorant. You don't want to be around these sort of people, mate. Get away from them people as quick as you can. What's this?
Last one from SK. I would go out drinking every night. Not had a drink since February. I was 17 stone. Now I'm 12 and a half.
Wow.
I now keep fit daily.
SK, I'm impressed, mate. I was 16 and a half. I'm down to 15 too. But what I'm saying is I was drinking all the time, but it's an escapism, isn't it? Not so much getting drunk. It's just being somewhere around people you thought were your friends and you thought it was a good environment. It's not. We're creatures of habits. What I had to do, see to where I am now, I had to, not even my family, I had to switch off from everyone. My kids was the only people I allowed to speak to. And I didn't let them come here. I sat here for a year, done what I had to do, took my life out, and just completely changed my whole life. And now I'm in such a great place, because I look back now and I think, what a prick, mate. Like standing there with arseholes going, yeah, mate, I went out last night here, got drunk my boy, and all this, sad and pathetic. Taking cocaine with their sons and robbing this and doing that. I was like, mate, please, you might have done it for a reason, but your son, you ain't broke the cycle, mate. What's that about? And they go, what? I said, well, your son's nicking, your son's selling drugs or whatever. I'm not drugs, but to me, it's pathetic, mate. You break that cycle. If you've got to do things, and for whatever reasons, they're not always your fault. Don't break that cycle, mate. Don't make sure your kids don't do it. So SK, mate, proud of you, mate. Well done. How did you lose the weight? When you say training, what sort of training are you doing? Gym training, that isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's true what they say, isn't it? Healthy body, healthy mind. Would you
It
agree
is, but
with
it's
that,
not
Matt?
always, it's not always easy as that. It's not always easy as that, Rob, is it?
Yeah, I think if you're depressed, you won't necessarily be able to get to a gym, will you?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, you have to push yourself in life and in anything. You know what I'm saying? I do everything all hands on all the way, all, like full blast. I don't do bar measures. I've got addicted natures. If I do anything, if I smoke 20 a day. If I drink, you know what I mean? Like, I will do it to the excess. But with drink, I didn't like to get drunk because I was always wanting to be in control of myself, and I used to see my dad the way he was. He used to fall in, you know, piss his pants and everything. Excuse my language. But that environment, my kids never ever will they ever see anything like that. Do you know what I'm saying? And like, so I see you obviously how clean and decent and honest you are. Like, my kids are like that, and that's how you got to be, and you want to be. You want your kids to be like that. Do you know what I'm saying? Being like rude and, oh, look at him, mate. This is pathetic, mate. It's people that are plastic that are missing something in their life. You know what I mean? Be yourself. Be kind. And obviously be honest. You know, in the sense that you've got to be honest with whatever's wrong with you. If there's something that's not right, let's see if we can fix it.
Right. Thanks everybody for all your comments and questions. Special thank you to my first guest, Matty Howard, for coming on tonight. Great job, Matty.
No problem, mate. What I'm saying to you, this is just a start of it. I've got so many things to show you, and paperwork, and what I've been diagnosed with, the things I've been through, the hospitals, the different places. We'll go through it over the next few months, and we'll build this up, and hopefully it'll build, and we can help people to understand mental, because it's the uneducated part of mental health that's not. You know, we're educated on it. Like I am. There's nothing I don't know about mental health. You know, I've been in every psychiatrist, in every hospital, and everything there was ever doing. If I don't like it, I'll tell him I don't like it. Get me the fuck out of here, mate. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a nice thing, but you got to deal with it. It's not your fault. It's an illness, you know. And thank you all for the questions.
Take care, Matty, and we'll see you all again soon.
Definitely, guys. Good luck.